My name is Rafael, and this is my locksmith point of sale capstone project. Um, Before I just recently moved to New York City, and I remember I locked my keys in my car, and I had to call the locksmith um, to get it opened up for me. They actually programmed the new key, and I remember thinking to myself, like, "Wow, this could be a lucrative business." Which, with me relocating to the East Coast, I was soonly after discouraged a little bit after I seen how many actual locksmiths are out here. So I decided not to pursue that, which was in the same time of me starting this project. So that's why I kind of chose this one here. But anyways, I digress. Um, so this is gonna be just a simple point of sale system for the fictional locksmith business. In this demo, I'm gonna walk through what the program does, and then I'll show the main Java classes and the database that I have linked to it. So this is going to be the run-in program here on the left. You'll see I have different locksmith service categories like the emergency, residential, automotive, key key and duplication, and then some other services. Um, each button represents a service with a price, and then when I click on something, it'll get added over to the current order screen. So I just click on a couple things here. You'll see them up here on the right side. So on the screen, you'll also have the option to change the quantity. That's going to be one of the only fields over here that you are able to manipulate. So if you see that there's one here now, maybe I can change it to 3. It'll change the total for that line to 360. And then down at the bottom here, you can apply any discount. So let's say we want to give the customer a $25 discount. But then they also had a $10 trip fee, and then here is going to show the tax rate. Here I just use the tax rate for New York City since that's where I'm at currently. But then once you set the tax rate there, you'll see all the information pop up here under totals. Okay, so not everything is working 100%, but this is where everything will show. Got the taxes on there at $49 and the total of $609. Over here we have the option to complete the sale. So sale completed at $609. This is all going to be logged to the non-persistent database that I have attached to this program. I didn't use like SQLite or anything like that. I just used a simple Derby database since this is just a fictional program. However, view sales history. We have some things popping up here. So these will just show the most recent sale for $609, one that we just did. Is going to be this one here. So we see that that's all working. All right, let's jump into some code here. We'll start with the main class here. So let's see. Created a shared order model here. I'm just going to store all the lines of the current order. And then also one database manager, which handles connecting to the database that I have linked to this program. Let's see, these are just all the attributes of the order model where we're going to put the center panel, bottom panel, stuff like that. And this just runs the program here. Okay, let me make sure this is okay. Where do we want to go next? Service selection panel. This is a service selection panel. It's going to handle all the buttons on the left side. So all of these ones here, all these service selection. I'm passing in the order model here. So when I click a button, it can add to the services. It can add the services into this current order. This is also just again going to go over the layout of the service selection panel. It's going to show all the categories vertically, as we see here. All of them just go vertically up and down. Let's see. This is going to be a list to hold these categories, so whether it be emergency, residential, automotive, just going to have a list of those so they can all be categorized properly. Let's see here. And then these are going to add each of the services to each category. So as you see, we have emergency, lockout, after hours surcharge. These are going to be under the emergency category. So this is going to go through adding everything to those lists. Add category section. This creates a label for the categories and a small grid of buttons for each service. When a button is clicked, it's going to send a action listener here. And that's what's going to add the item to the order table. Let's see, moving on to order model. Okay, this is going to extend abstract table model, which is a built-in class in Java. So this is just the order model for the program to follow. Like you've seen before, we have the discount, trip fee, tax rate, just some variables to hold those, and then how we get those values are all going to be here. We have the option to also clear an item or clear the whole order. Get the subtotal, get the taxes, so it'll get that rate that we have for the taxes, and then do the math here for us. And then this is just going to output the total here. Option to add a trip fee, taxes. This is going to get the count of an item in the order. And as you've seen, we're able to edit that. We can change it from 1 to 2. We can bump it down. We can bump it up. We can bring it down. So this is just going to hold all that here in this class. Okay. Let's see here. The order panel. The order panel is going to be the center section of the table. It's going to bind directly with the order model and add a row sorter, so I can click on column headers if I need. And then at the bottom you'll see I added the 2 buttons, one to remove or one to clear the order. I have remove and then clear here. So that's how that's all set up. Let's see. We have the summary panel here. This is going to extend the J panel again, just for the GUI. We're gonna have the same shared order model, database manager. All that stuff's gonna be passed in here through the constructor. Border layout, this is just gonna set the properties of the GUI as well, or that summary panel that we have. Shows we're using a grid layout here. We have the button to apply the discount, and then it's going to do the math there for us. Text field, it's going to add the labels, the buttons. What labels for it? As I showed you before, we have the history button, which is going to show sales history, or show us the last couple orders that we put in. Let's see. Let's go over the database manager here. So this is going to be, like I said, a non-persistent storage. So once this whole app, once everything closes out, no information is actually going to be saved. It's not like your traditional database, but this is something just to show that it's working for the program. Something lightweight, doesn't really take up too much storage or anything. I set the database name to Locksmith DB, Locksmith database, and the table is called sales history. Let's see here. So initially what it's going to do is create the database. You see here we have these different columns to create for the table. Sales table. It's going to connect to the database, and then this is going to hold the, or this is going to be the create SQL. So it's going to be basically this statement here. So if it's already created, this is what this code here means in Derby. It'll display an error showing that we're not able to make it. But if it doesn't exist, then that database will be created. This is going to be the code to save the completed sale to the table. So it's going to get all this information from the other classes, and then execute that update. Basically, just adding it to the database. This here is going to show the, like I showed you before, the history of the orders that we put in. So just like you see here, that's what all this is doing. It's gonna get the date, the time, subtotal, tax, and the total of the order. That's all gonna be put in there. And yeah, basically this is all the code that I have for this fictional locksmith database here. I use Java Swing for the interface, and an order model for the order logic, and then the embedded Derby database to record and review the sales. And as you see here, we have a running fictional. Oh look, oh yeah, okay. So these do work. You just have to individually press them. Okay, perfect. Complete that. We have a running program. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy the rest of